Hey guys, it's Mrs. Spiro. You definitely need your calculator for this lesson, so go ahead and grab your calculators. Couple things I want to remind you. This is the last section of this unit, and so we will be having a review and a test. You can use Desmos at any point, so keep that in mind. Even if it's an Alex assignment, I'm okay if you flip over to Desmos. I really want you to get familiar with Desmos because you can use it on your EOC or your map test. So as a reminder, as far as the square root of something. So if I said, what was the square root of 64? Hopefully say, what number times itself equals 64? And the answer is 8. Or in your calculator, remember, you have to hit the second key. The squared root is not the one with the X in it. It's the one right below it. So not the caret key one, but the squared. And we put 64, and we get the number 8. So we know it equals 8, but it also equals negative 8. The reason being is because negative 8 times negative 8, I want to put that over here, squared is 64. And again, it's important that this is in parentheses when you do it, because if you don't, you're going to get the wrong answer. So negative 8 times itself, inclusive into the parentheses, equals 64. So you'll end up with this plus minus thing. So sometimes you'll see things as a plus minus, and you're going to see it down here. So here we go. So the solutions of a quadratic equation in standard form are given by this following formula. Now this one is always given to you. You will see this on your reference sheets everywhere. It's nothing you need to memorize. You just need to see it and know what it is. The other thing is, why are we doing this? Because we're trying to find those, this helps us find those solutions. And when I say solutions, I mean those x-intercepts. Again, they call them roots sometimes, and sometimes they call them, what was the other word? Roots, zeros. Okay, so that's its job. So here's the formula. Don't write very big. It's negative b, and then here's this plus minus, the square root of b minus 4ac. I'm sorry, that b is squared, so go back. So negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. So again, the reason why I said make sure this is in standard form, because if you're not in standard form, this is in standard form where you can see your a, which is 1, your b is negative 2, and your c is negative 35. This will not work unless you're in the standard form. And again, all it's doing is it's finding those x-intercepts. All right, so let's try this one. And it's always good to, let's write all these down. My a is 1, my b was negative 2, and my c is negative 35. Okay, this says negative b, or the opposite of b. So you can either put a negative, negative 2, or a positive 2. And then it says plus or minus the square root of my b, which is negative 2. Again, important when you substitute it in, put it in parentheses, squared, minus 4 times my a times my c. Divided by 2 times my a. All right, first thing, solve the square root. So I'm going to go ahead and solve that in my calculator. Clear. So I'm going to say Second, again, square root, parentheses, -2, parentheses, squared, minus 4, parentheses 1, parentheses, -35, parentheses. And I got 12. So when I did that, I got 12. So all of that becomes 12. So what is negative? -2 is a positive 2 plus or minus 12, all divided by 2 times 1 is 2. Now, I need to break this up. What is 2 plus 12 divided by 2? Remember, do this part first. And then 2 minus 12 divided by 2. And solve those two. So that's 12 plus 2 is 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. This is -10 divided by 2 is -5. So here's my two solutions. And I'll put them in a bracket. Sometimes you'll see them in a bracket. Whoa. Sorry. So that plus or minus means we're going to do exactly that. To solve this next one, we need to send, to be in standard form, we need to add 12 to both sides. This becomes 0, hallelujah, and then this becomes 2x squared minus 9x plus 12. Okay. So my A is 2, my B is -9, and my C is 12. Again, make sure it's in this format as well. X squared, X, constant. All right, so let's put it all out there. So my opposite of B, I'll go ahead and put it in just so you guys can see it. Plus or minus the square root of my B squared minus 4 times my A value times my C value. Again, I'm going to do that part first. All divided by 2 times my A, which is 2. Okay. First, solve square root. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to replace what I had earlier with other stuff. 4 times 2 times a 12. I'm sure I'm going to have to delete a couple of things, parentheses. I did not like it. Do I feel like I have a space there? Okay, I'm going to solve this. If you get domain error, let's solve it without the square root. So let's just do parentheses -9 squared. And remember this from last year. So -9 squared minus 4 times my A times my C. I get a -15. That's why we got a domain error. If you get a negative, there is no such thing as a number times itself that'll give you a negative. So this is a no solution situation. So this is a no solution. Well, that was easy. That was fast. All right. This is going to take practice and just a lot of paperwork and stuff, but it's not too bad actually. The next part is called using the discriminant. And the discriminant is just that one part of the equation. Discriminant is equal to the B squared minus 4 times A times C. So what does the discriminant tell us? The number of solutions. That's all it's telling us. How many solutions am I going to have? So first of all, let's go ahead and substitute our values in here. So b squared, my b is here. So 2 squared minus 4 times my a, which is 1, times my c, which is 5. So when I do that, let's go ahead and punch that into our calculator. It's good practice. Oops, clear. 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times 5 gives us this negative 16. So they're already giving us this answer. So what that means that if you end up with a negative, so negative, you end up with no real solutions. So this is a negative solution. If you end up with a 0, it's going to hit 1 time. So on this one, we would have done 10 squared minus 4 times 1 times 25, and I got a 0. So if I get a 0, then I have one solution, and that's here. If I solve this, b squared, so that's a negative, 7 squared minus 4 times 2 times 2, I get a positive number, then I'll have 2 solutions, here and here. Okay. So let's see the discriminants on these. So again, you must be in standard form. So on here, I need to subtract 12 from both sides. I end up with 3x squared plus 10x minus 12 equals 0. And then I have my a, my b, and my c. So my discriminant is equal to my b squared, so 10 squared minus 4 times my a times my c. So, parentheses, 10 squared minus 4, 3, negative 12. I got 244. So that's positive. Therefore, I end up with 2 solutions. Do I have to solve for those 2 solutions? No. This one's already in standard form, same thing. D is equal to my b squared minus 4 times my a, which is 1, times my c, which is 2. Punch that into your calculator. My discriminant is negative 4. Since it is negative, there's no solution. And the last one, again, we need to make it in standard form, so minus 12x minus 12x. Make sure this is 4x squared minus 12x. That 12x needs to be in the middle. It's a negative. Plus 9 equals 0. Okay, my discriminant is equal to my b, negative 12 squared minus 4 times my a, which is 4, and my c, which is 9. I'm going to punch that into my calculator. I get 0. If I have 0, I have one solution. All right, so pay attention. Are you just looking for the the discriminants? Are you looking for the actual solutions by using the quadratic formula? Today's assignment is on a Google form. If you have any questions, let me know.